Hello from New York. I'm Liz Wickersham.
And I'm Lee Leonard, and this is Showbiz Today, live Thursday, March 27th, 1986.
Our focus, reggae music, where it stands today.
We'll take a tour of the clearinghouse for Western costumes.
We'll introduce you to award-winning commercial director Joe Pytka.
And we'll have the first of a two-part interview with Julian Lennon.
Name can only last for so long. After that, the songs have to be good.
At the top of the Showbiz headlines, Ken Kragen, the super manager of Lionel Richie, Kenny Rogers, and other stars, is also the organizer of Hands Across America, an event that is to have over 6 million Americans holding hands strung out from New York to Los Angeles on May 25th. The program is to raise funds to alleviate hunger and homelessness in our country. Today in New York, Citibank pledged at least $3 million as a co-sponsor of the event. Tomorrow, thousands of radio stations all over the nation will play the Hands Across America song at 10:15 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. All of this got a reaction from Kragen in New York today.
Couldn't come at a better time for us with the simulcast of the song tomorrow, or on Good Friday, and the launch of our campaign next Monday, really our heavy campaign with 58 days left to go. This involvement is terrific. It really ensures our success.
Art Aid was another event to raise money for African famine relief. New York's Hard Rock Cafe became an auction house last night where $250,000 worth of artwork was sold, with proceeds going to the Live Aid Foundation. Among the items up for purchase were paintings by Bob Dylan, Joni Mitchell, and Ron Wood of the Rolling Stones.
And the third charity event in the news today is Comic Relief. A new club called Stand Up New York opened in Manhattan last night. A Woody Allen look-alike stole the show, and the proceeds were donated to this weekend's Comic Relief HBO special. Out in Hollywood today, rehearsals for that star-studded event. Dozens of stars from the comedy community will participate, and funds raised by the special will benefit projects for the homeless in 18 American cities.
Why is this important? Because it's a necessary thing. There's a lot of places that need help money-wise, and we're doing it for medical aid for different places, for 18 centers in 18 cities. Which will be flashing on the bottom of the screen right now.
We're trying to help. People are saying, well, what are you doing this for? You going to buy them a house? No, we're just trying to get some Band-Aids and some bandages and some medicine to people who are having a tough time right now.
Now we move from celebrity benefits to celebrity nostalgia. Sandy Kenyon takes us on a tour of Western Costume, a company that has dressed many a famous face.
Welcome to Hollywood's attic, where the pieces of dreams are stored. There are more than 1 million of them. Costumes from every historical period.
We do not have any specific arrow on the ground telling where different costumes are. You just have to work long enough in this big, enormous building and learn where they're hanging.
If it doesn't already exist, Western Costume will make it for you, just as they are doing now for the next Star Trek movie, just as they did for Michael Jackson. Each department has a specific responsibility, and if props and accessories are needed, there's plenty from which to choose.
Take one item, for instance, earrings. Here's a drawer of various earrings. Here's another drawer, gold earrings.
And the sum of the parts is a glamour known the world over as Hollywood's.
We never do one thing twice or the same way. It's always different sizes, colors, styles. That's what makes it very interesting.
For the North and South, the company supplied hundreds of Civil War uniforms to both sides. More than 40 years earlier, they'd helped relive the war in Gone with the Wind. Today, you can still find Clark Gable's jacket hanging next to those of Charlie Chaplin and W.C. Fields.
I mustn't say that clothes make the star. I say that the star is the star, but certainly we try to dress the star to their satisfaction.
Nearly every Hollywood star comes to the attic at one time or another, but they'll let anyone rent a piece of the dream. With a few dollars, a little imagination, you can be Bogart for a day. Sandy Kenyon, CNN,
Hollywood.
Still to come on Showbiz today, reggae music and the Sunsplash 86 tour.
Tomorrow, we'll talk with Federico Fellini about his new film, Fred and Ginger. All that and more on Showbiz Today.
And now back to Showbiz Today on CNN.
Jamaican music in our showbiz focus. Reggae music has been around for quite some time and has seen its share of ups and downs. As we hear in this report from Laurin Sydney, artists and promoters are having a hard time achieving mainstream status.
Don't give up the fight. Don't give up the fight.
Bob Marley was the unquestioned leader of reggae music. His influence extended to rock groups such as the Police and the Rolling Stones, who took the reggae sound and began to spread it to the masses. But since Marley's death in 1981, the path he blazed has begun to become clouded.
Reggae music has been able to influence the trend of music today, which it has influenced rock as well as R&B music.
Where the problem comes in is when either credit is not given or when the artist who originated the music comes along with the music and is not given the same opportunity on the airwaves or wherever as the artist that was influenced by them.
I think the reason for that is that we don't have major companies involved in the music because the whole thing comes under promotion. And if we have a company who is interested in the music, then they are going to see to it that the music is being promoted on all these stations.
Independent record labels are attempting to spread the music the major labels have ignored. Recording artist Judy Mowat, the Mighty Diamonds, and Black Yohuru, all of independent labels, are headlining the Reggae Sunsplash 86 tour and selling out venues such as Radio City Music Hall. But this is still not enough.
So you can establish the artist at a certain level, which has happened for a number of our artists, from Rita Marley, Yellow Man, Bunny Wailer, and Judy Mowat, and so on. To get them to the next level is a tricky thing because you can't do that without airplay right now. And that's a battle we fight all the time.
There's a dedicated set of fans in America who just loves and adore reggae. What I want to see now is it to break out further from those set of fans. And it's all a matter of exposure, marketing and all that, you know. That's what it's down to.
Reggae artists and fans alike are hoping that tours such as Sunsplash 86 and the few lucky artists signed to major labels can get the ball rolling again, so reggae can sit proudly side by side with R&B, rock and pop once and for all. Laurin Sydney, CNN, New York.
Joining us now live in our New York studio is disc jockey Amy Wachtel, also known as the Night Nurse. She hosts a reggae program on WBAU-FM here in New York. Amy, I've been hearing now for a long, long time that reggae is going to be the next big thing in music, and then it never quite happens. Why not?
You're absolutely right. They've been saying it ever since Peter Tosh joined up with the Stones. And was on Saturday Night Live, and then when Culture Club and the Police went big. I think it's because reggae is what it is. It's nothing more, it's nothing less. And the fact that it's gotten as far as it has without such commercial airplay and promotion behind it is quite amazing.
Is part of the problem, do you think, the heavy political content, which is important in Jamaica, of some of the songs that just isn't apropos here in the United States or the rest of the world?
It's possible, but I think if you really listen to the lyrics, they're appropriate for the entire world. It's not just Jamaica who's suffering or struggling or having war. It's this entire universe. I think perhaps people don't understand the lyrics, or companies just don't know how to market it. They don't realize that rock and rollers can like reggae too.
Well, rock and rollers certainly do like reggae. There are reggae influences in almost all of the music that you hear today, rock and roll, rhythm and blues, whatever. So it's being absorbed into the mainstream rather than making a line of its own.
And yet, Radio City was sold out last week for a reggae concert.
Yeah, but Radio City seats 6,500 people in a country of 250 million. That's not a whole lot.
No, it's not. This is the problem. This is the problem. And as I say again, it's amazing that reggae's gotten as far as it can. People can't just easily have access to it. There are tons of college radio shows throughout the country, but you have to know, oh, this one is on Monday at 8 to 10. The other one's Tuesday 2 to 6. You know, there's no... The way other music is exposed and hyped and overplayed, reggae doesn't get that push.
Final question. There's a large Jamaican population here in the New York City area. Is that basically your audience, or is it wider than that?
Reggae lovers are reach beyond just West Indians, absolutely. Reggae has no color, it has no boundaries. People who like, well, not AC/DC, but people who like rock and roll, as I say, are reggae fans. People who like rap music. If you look at the Fat Boys and UTFO, who are finally bridging the gap or acknowledging the connection between Jamaican rap DJ and American rap DJ, MC.
Okay, Amy, thank you very much for being with us, and you keep on night nursing, okay?
All right, thanks for checking in with the Night Nurse.
We're going to take a short break. Liz and I will be back after these messages.
Still to come on Showbiz Today, a conversation with Julian Lennon.
Tomorrow, we'll focus on one-man and one-woman shows. All that and more on Showbiz Today.
And now back to Showbiz Today on CNN.
Addicted to Love, Secret Lover, and Let's Go All the Way all have a place in the top 10 singles chart. Sherry Sylvester has the rundown.
In its fourth week in the top 10, Elton John's Nikita comes in at number 10.
Might as well face it, you're addicted to love.
Robert Palmer's long-awaited solo effort yields him his first top 10 single, Addicted to Love.
Looking for a new star.
Sly Fox moves up one spot to 8th place with Let's Go All the Way. The Bangles leap to 7th place with the Prince-penned Manic Monday. What You Need by INXS holds on to 6th place with A Bullet. Heart's These Dreams continues its slide downward, falling to 5th place. After peaking at number 3, Atlantic Starr's Secret Lovers falls to 4th place. Prince takes Kiss 2 notches higher to 3rd place. John Cougar Mellencamp jumps to 2nd place with his salute to 60s rock, ROCK in the USA. And Austrian artist Falco holds on to his first American #1 single, One More Week, with Rock Me Amadeus. Sherry Sylvester, CNN.
Some music stars don't need top 10 records to pull in big crowds for major engagements. From March 29th until April 6th, New York's Radio City Music Hall is going to be packed. The attraction? Peter Allen and the Rockettes. Cheryl Washington has this report on the king of the cabaret singers.
This time, when Peter Allen brings his spectacular 10-show Easter engagement to Radio City to strut his stuff, he'll come equipped with professional tap dancing lessons.
I was faking it for so long that I thought I really better go learn it. Because, you know, you see these old guys who are 70 years old come out and they're still tapping, and I thought, gee, that might be something to invest in for my future, because it's hard to jump off pianos when you're 70. But I picked it up pretty quick, and I have a big, big tap number in the show. Good.
So big, in fact, he's been practicing every day for the last 2 weeks at this rehearsal hall with the Rockettes under the direction of choreographer Michael Shawn.
He's very bright, he's very smart, he's very quick, and he has such a natural aptitude. I mean, his whole energy on stage is so natural that no matter what you give him, he makes it look good.
In this number, I Love a Piano, Peter plays the Rockettes. Well, not exactly. They're supposed to be a living keyboard.
The girls are all lying down, and the elevator's up, and it's got a huge piano keyboard on it. And the girls all have strings on their wrists so that they look like piano wires. And as I touch the piano key, their legs spring up and stuff. So it's a cute idea.
In past shows, cute ideas have lived up to its reputation. Riding atop a camel and jumping off a piano are part of the Allen trademark. This performance will surely be no exception.
Will there be any surprises in your show?
There's a couple of big surprises in this show. I mean, the first year, we had a camel on the stage, and that was a real surprise. So you have to kind of do things like that. And we didn't tell anyone about the camel beforehand, and people went crazy when it came on. So this year, we're not telling anything about
of the big stars.
Cheryl Washington, CNN, New York.
Julian Lennon is another performer who can pack a concert hall. But it's not just because of his famous dad. As Beverly Shook reports, he's a star in his own right.
Sitting on the doorstep of the I can feel you there.
John Charles Julian Lennon was named for his famous father, Beatle John Lennon. But Julian Lennon's success was not because of his father's name, but in spite of it.
The songs have to be the thing that prove me, you know, not a name. The name can only last for so long. After that, the songs have to be good.
And the songs were good. His first album, The Lot, went platinum, and his first U.S. tour, an instant sellout.
The first tour was like hell for a while, you know, because I'd walk pace from side to side, my head dancing, and the next song is, you know, and I learned to grow out of that. And confidence, you know, just general confidence and being able to get out there and to face it all, you know.
Even with his success, Julian is haunted by a sense of guilt over the death of his father.
Dad died in America, you know, and it wasn't a pleasant way to die, obviously. You know, you just get that general sense or feeling of well, from Americans, of guilt, or, well, you know, it felt like our fault, but we had nothing to do with it.
Imagine all the people.
Julian has made his half-brother Sean a priority in his life.
I'm here, and, you know, I really do love him and care for him with all my heart, you know. So whenever I get the chance, I'll be there to guide him or help him in whatever way he needs me to be there, you know.
Beverly Shook, CNN, New York.
These items in the Showbiz databank. Liz Taylor is negotiating with CBS to star in a TV movie called Poker Alice. If things work out, Taylor will play a gambler who wins a whorehouse in a poker game. John Denver wants to be the first person to present a concert from space. After testifying in Washington in support of a strong space program, the country singer told reporters he would like to be a passenger on a shuttle flight someday and perhaps record a song while circling the globe. Lee?
Okay, Elizabeth, rock music, comedy, and a classic American play in our Easter weekend preview as the month of March winds down. First, the music. Pat Benatar's Seven the Hard Way tour is in the Northwest. Friday night in Seattle, Washington. Saturday in Spokane. Ted Nugent is warming up Florida. Friday he plays Miami. Saturday Fort Myers. Must be spring break. Country fans can catch Ronnie Millsap at the Carlton Celebrity Theater Friday and Saturday. In the Big Apple, Peter Allen and the Rockettes at Radio City Music Hall Saturday and Sunday. And at the Westbury Music Fair this weekend, Dionne Warwick and her guest star, Gregory Hines. Stretching the weekend a wee bit, Amy Grant is at the Patriot Center in the nation's capital Monday night. Saturday night at the Holiday Star Theater in Chicago, B.B. King with Lucille, his guitar. The comedy will be handled by Gallagher at the Beverly Theater in Los Angeles. And the classic play is Eugene O'Neill's Long Day's Journey into Night, starring Jack Lemmon at the National Theater in Washington, D.C. This week's movies, just in time, April Fool's Day, a horror parody goes into release, as does The Money Pit, starring Tom Hanks and Shelley Long of TV's Cheers.
You may not recognize his name or face, but you've probably admired his work. Kendall Baldwin has this report on commercial director Joe Pytka and his award-winning spot for Pepsi.
Pepsi's archaeology commercial is filled with special effects, but the ad agency went to a director not known for special effects commercials, Joe Pytka, who specializes in people-oriented, slice-of-life ads. And Pytka says it was not the special effects that made the spot so successful.
The principal performer, the guy named Bill O'Connell, did a fabulous job making this professor come to life.
The special effects created a challenge for the actors because in some important scenes, they had to play to a blank background.
A lot of the stuff was against blue screen backgrounds and things of that nature. So there were some difficulties in parts of the performers because there's one scene where they go up over a ridge and he says, look at this beautiful dig, and he's looking at a blue screen. You know, truthfully, the special effects weren't nearly as important as the performance.
What is it?
When he holds the Coke bottle up at the end with that look in his eyes.
I have no idea.
It's brilliant.
International judges agreed, giving the commercial top prizes at the Cannes Film Festival and at the International Broadcasting Awards. But at first, the ad agency was considering not producing it.
It was actually a very kind of a controversial spot at the agency at first because it was very comparative, you know, going right up against Coca-Cola. A lot of that stuff comes out mean and nasty. So without knowing that that guy was going to do that performance, or those kids are going to be so engaging, or whatever, there was no way to say that it was going to be a lighthearted thing. And it was surprising that the commercial became as successful as it did because it wasn't really everybody's favorite going in.
Pepsi liked it enough that it asked Joe Pytka to direct another commercial for the company this year, the Pepsi ad featuring Michael J. Fox. Kendall Baldwin, CNN, Hollywood.
And that's it for this edition of Showbiz Today. Be sure to join us tomorrow for a report on the debut of the Hands Across America theme song. I'm Elizabeth Gersham.
And I'm Lee Leonard, and for all of us here at Showbiz Today, have a good evening.